Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult, book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. And I just want to say a big thank you to miskatonicbooks.com once again for sponsoring the show. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. Miskatonicbooks.com are a fantastic resource if you're looking for difficult to find occult, esoteric books that have been out of print maybe for a long time, books that have been published abroad. And if you're living in the US, then you really cut out all of that international shipping cost and so on and so forth. And if you, wherever you're living in the world, if you're looking for books that have been printed possibly by little independent esoteric or occult book publishing companies and that are completely out of print by now, then miskatonicbooks.com really is your best chance of being able to find some of those rarities. And I really recommend going to miskatonicbooks.com to check out what they have on their shelves. Miskatonic Books also occasionally publish some books. I say occasionally, but actually recently there have been quite a few, and this is the latest announcement, the Thai Occult Part 1, which actually came out quite a long time ago, and then Miskatonic Books actually published Thai Occult Part 2 in a lovely hardcover and by Peter Jenks, and the first one having been out of print for a long time, it seems like Miskatonic Books have made available that first edition once again, and it looks like those copies of the first volume, the second edition of the first volume, so the Thai Occult Part 1 is going to be available to ship very, very shortly. So that's really very, very cool news, and you can reserve your copy at the links, which I will add down below as well. But I do recommend going to check out Miskatonic Books on Facebook to follow them over there, just to know what the latest good stuff that's arrived on their shelves might be. I've got news from Aula Lucis. So this is news that actually I've known for a couple of weeks, but I completely forgot to mention it. And I'm not sure how I could possibly forget to mention it because it's such big news. I am a big fan of what Aula Lucis have been doing in the past few months, that they've been making beautiful books, right? And there are 2 new books in the works that are already up for pre-order. The first is The Search for Truth by John Temple, which is a unique investigation in 12 chapters of the occult secrets in the Bible, its mystery language, and their origin in the wisdom teachings of ancient Egypt. This sounds so exciting. Throughout the book, occult writer and theologian John Temple discusses some of the mystery keys without which it is impossible to unlock the hidden meaning concealed within the many biblical stories, symbols, and sacred teachings, some of which predate Christianity by many millennia. So that's very, very exciting news. This is available for pre-order. If you've seen some of my reviews of the Aula Lucis books, you'll know that they are beautiful hardcover books. Really, really up there with some of the best productions from some of the most well-respected publishers out there. Really gorgeous publications, and yeah, I'm very, very excited for this Search for the Truth. But this is not the only publication that's available for pre-order from Aula Lucis right now. There's a second one as well. This is the third in their Hermetica series. Let me just remind you of the first one that came out a few months before, so Hermetic Arcanum. This has been out for, as I say, for a few months. And this was the first volume in the Mysterium Hermeticum series. So this is actually the third in the Mysterium Hermeticum series, and it's Arca Arcanorum, The Secret of Secrets, which was written in 1634 by the alchemist and royal physician Arthur Dee, so not John Dee, but Arthur Dee, the eldest son of the Elizabethan Magus John Dee, to celebrate his triumphant consummation of the great work and the attainment of the secret of secrets. Only a single manuscript of this work exists, executed in Dee's own handwriting and bequeathed upon his death to the Bodleian Library of Oxford. This is the first printed edition of this all-important alchemical treatise, which remained virtually unknown for almost 400 years. So that's available for pre-order for £43. These are the prices for the classic hardbacks, of course. Right, the Arcanum editions, the very pretty editions, I guess, will be announced a little bit later. So keep a very close eye on aulalucis.com. If you're hoping to get one of those super deluxe, super beautiful editions, and if you've seen their previous beautiful editions, let me see if I can maybe find a few. If I have a look under books over here, you'll be able to see, for example, De Natura Rerum, which was a second book in that Hermetic series, and this is the super deluxe edition of it, and you can see how beautiful that one is. And there was this one, which was the first one, Hermetic Arcanum, which was the super deluxe edition of the first volume in that series. Just really, really gorgeous. So yeah, you might want to pick up a super deluxe edition of Arcanorum. There we go. Great stuff. News from Revelor Press, and some pre-orders have opened now for a new book in their in their collection, right? They've got some really fantastic esoteric and occult books in their collection, and they haven't put out a book for quite a while now, and I was really excited to see this one being announced. So Procession of the Night Theatre, an exposition of the lunar stations. So it's in two parts. Let me see. Given their proper weight, where did I find all that very cool information about it? I'm not sure. Anyway, it seems like it's going to be in two parts. The first part is in a narrative form, talking about the 28 stations of the moon in a following the tradition of the 1001 Nights, right? And the second part just goes into detail on the actual details, right, on the 28 stations of the moon. So this does look really exciting, right? By light unites the Indian nakshatra, the Chinese shu, the Arabic manzil, and more in a comprehensive study of the lunar stations through their many significations, magics, and delineations. By darkness proceeds through dream logics and poetry familiar to the labyrinths of the 1001 Nights, each night a lunar station. So yeah, that sounds really very exciting stuff indeed. It's likely to be a paper, black and white paperback. Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Right, let's move on to news from Femme Occulte. So Femme Occulte, as you know, is a fantastic periodical journal which just combines really interesting occult essays, really nice stuff, both in English and in Czech. And this is really nice news because they have combined the issues from each of the years 2020, 2021, and 2022 into compendiums, and those had mostly sold out, and they are available now once again as anthologies, full anthologies, combining all the chapters from 2020, as you can see, 2021 and 2022, and 2023. There we go, and you can see the volumes from 2024 also there, which is obviously ongoing at the moment. And so if you missed out on those earlier issues, it's a nice opportunity to pick those up in a very pretty form. Very pretty format. There we go. You can choose what currency to purchase those in, and also which language. Do make sure that you pick the language that is most suited to your own abilities, right? There we go. News from Black Letter Press. Well, it's really a reminder that this incredible summer-long sale is coming to an end. So I guess we've got maybe a few more days to go. From what I understand, I think it's about 4 more days remaining at the time of recording. And I'm recording on the 18th of July, right? So it's Thursday, 18th of July. I'm guessing this weekend will still be included, but that's going to be about it. So if you were hoping to pick up some of the lovely, lovely Black Letter Press occult books, now is definitely the time to do that. Gorgeous, gorgeous William Blake's For the Sexes, and then the very important De Magia, Giordano Bruno, all of these for fantastic discount. And then, of course, there's the Bibliothèque Bleue grimoires and stuff. Really very, very cool stuff. And, oh, would you look at that? It turns out my book is also available at a discount. You can get it at the moment for €48 instead of 60, which is pretty cool. There we go. News from Dr. Alexander Cummins. So Dr. Cummins has made a few of these visionary bracelets of Via, lunary amuletic charm for mediumship and water working. Those of you who don't know Dr. Alexander Cummins, I strongly recommend checking him out. He has some very nice insights into cunning work and into geomancy, and when I think cunning folk magic, I tend to think Dr. Alexander Cummins, although he's very knowledgeable on the whole spectrum of magic. There we go. So a wearable magical assemblage from a limited batch run, ritually consecrated over a moon cycle with prayers, oils, and perfumes, designed to aid in dream incubation, psychic vision, and scrying, as well as all spiritual works involving water, from preparing and administering spiritual baths and washes to asperging spaces and magical tools. It sounds really interesting for possibly people who are trying to get better with their visionary work, and clearly water work. It seems like, let me just have a look. Yeah, if you scroll down, you can read a lot more about these. I was very interested to read a little bit about the materials with which these were made. Anyway, very, very exciting stuff. I'll let you read all of that at your own leisure. I don't think there are very many of these, but you can see how beautiful they are. Really very, very nice. I'm guessing this must be a square of the moon, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, it's a magical square of the moon. Very, very fitting, of course, for a lunary amuletic charm for mediumship and water working. Very, very lovely. Then we've got news from Frater Setnakh, who has got a new Kickstarter available. And let me see, it's 4 magic decks. I believe these decks are decks that already existed, but they're available through this Kickstarter at a significant discount. So here we are. There's the 72 Angels deck. There is, which I believe I've actually shown on the channel. There's the 44 Planetary Seals of King Solomon spiritual cards. Very nice stuff. We've got the Sephirothic Tree of Life spiritual cards. And then the Sephirothic Tarot. And those are the four decks that are available here. Yeah, the meditation mat can be ordered separately at Frater Setnakh's Etsy store, which is quite a treasure trove. If you haven't visited Frater Setnakh's Etsy store, it's definitely worth a visit. And you can see the 4 decks down here. Yeah, they're different size decks, hence the different prices, and you can see them all together here for 115 euros. Quite an impressive discount. Let me go for deluxe sets and so on. So you can go and check all of that out. Next, we've got another Kickstarter. Actually, we've got 3 Kickstarters in a row. We've got the Ghastly Lenormand from the grave, which is kind of sweet. Actually, it's kind of cute. I recommend checking out the little video at the top there. Traditional coffin. So the cards actually come in a little coffin-shaped box, which is really, it's actually very very sweet. It's actually very. It's definitely not as gruesome as or ghastly as the title suggests. It's quite lovely. There we go. There's the little box there. Very cool. Comes with a little booklet. You get the general idea. Let's have a look at the prices. Cozy coffins. £38. I guess it's about $50. Nice. Okay. Let's move on to, so this is one that I was telling you about last week already, and I was recording just a few moments before this went live. This is Magick Show. It's a show that's being created by Richard Metzger, whom you may know from Disinformation. Richard Metzger has been talking about the occult for a good few decades now. A very, very big figure in the 1990s. The whole Robert Anton Wilson scene, the whole chaos magic scene, he was very, very prominent there. And it seems like quite a few modern magicians have been interviewed for this series of shows, he's looking for funding for editing those shows, basically. And this is what I was telling you about last week, that Grant Morrison will do a spell for you. That's like the highest tier, and I wasn't sure how much it was going to charge. I was pretty sure that it was going to be a very high number. I was saying 50,000, but no, it's not quite 50,000. Nevertheless, it is $10,000. Grant Morrison will personally cast a spell for you. Includes live consultations with Morrison to define your personal goal, after which he will create and charge an original one-of-a-kind sigil artwork and ship it to you. Executive producer credit is what you get on the actual episodes themselves. You get all the episodes of the show, all the bonus interview footage, an invitation to a live online watch party with the director, producers, and on-camera occultists, soundtrack, the higher revolutionary mutation poster by Dima. This has too many consonants one after another, even for me as a Polish an attempted Polish speaker. There we go. But there are lots of tiers that are nowhere near as expensive as that one. You can go for one of those maybe more attainable tiers. The whole thing starts, I think, at $99, where you get the Magick Show episodes, basically. Then you get the bonus interview footage, the soundtrack, an invitation to an online watch party, and with the director, produces an online and on-camera occultist, excuse me. So that's for $99, or you can simply help out with, $5 or whatever you can afford. If that sounds like an exciting project to you. It seems like each episode is a stretch goal. You can see some of the authors here: Kenneth Anger and Grant Morrison, of course, Amanda Yates Garcia, Gary Lachman, Mitch Horowitz rings a bell, Jay Percy. Christina Oakley Harrington, of course, from Treadwell's books. Sarah Lyons, Michael Cardenas. My understanding is that anyway, there are quite a few people. Oh, here we go, Dr. Angela Puka, which is always lovely to see. And there was Richard Kaczynski also, who was interviewed. Mavis Lynn, of course. Let me see. Any others that I immediately recognize here? Anyway, you get the general idea. I'm sure it'll be really cool. So I had a look down here, use of AI, which has to be disclosed now on Kickstarter, which is good, right? I was a little bit concerned. I saw, yes, I plan to use AI generated content on my project. I was like, what? Why? And then I saw what it is. It's just for upscaling and enhancing some standard definition silent movie footage. Okay, well that's not a problem. That's fine, absolutely fine. So yeah, potentially exciting, but yes, looking at the levels that they're wanting to reach for each subsequent episode, they're looking for $65,000 for the first 2 episodes, and then the third episode, yeah, they're looking for 100,000, and then 150 for the 4th episode 4 collection, Creating Chaos. William S. Burroughs, Chaos Magic, Black Magic. It does look really exciting. It does look actually really, really interesting, right? Austin Osman Spare right there, and others. Let me just turn off my phone there. There we go. And we've got news. I'm, as you know, I'm always going to tell you when the Hail Hekate course, or should I say class, really, because it's a class that happens over 13 weeks. I will always let you know when the new batch starts, because to me this is the epitome. This is the best that a class can be. It's a perfect example of approachable, of useful, of informative, of good value for money, and it is expensive, $45 every 2 weeks for 18 weeks. So that's for 9 times, right? But it is, in my opinion, one of the best things that you can do to gain occult understanding that you can do with that kind of money, right? In my opinion. So I'm letting you know the next cohort is about to start on July 29th, so you can already sign up if you're interested in that. If you don't know anything about the Hail Hekate course, I recommend going to check out my review that I did about 1.5 years ago, possibly a couple of years ago now. Just extremely impressed with that particular course. Good. And we've got news from BJ Swayne, who is talking about his own course, which is definitely not the same price. He's currently working on it. Obviously, I'll give you some more details as those details are released, as he completes the work that he's currently doing on that course. But the course is going to be called How to Do Grimoire Magic for Free, which sounds like he's not going to be he's not going to be including any lion skin belt, unless he's going to be recommending for you to go hunting yourself. I'm assuming not, but yes. So there's obviously a lot of work to be done on it. But if any of you guys know of BJ Swayne's work, you'll probably be just as excited for this as I am, and you'll know what kind of quality to expect from it, which is likely to be high if his books are anything to go by. I like BJ Swayne's work very, very, very much. So I'll leave a link to this post. Actually, no, not to this post, because he's not made these this post embeddable, but you can go and check him out on Facebook and even follow his page. It's very often got interesting points to make on the topic of magic. Then news from the Boleskine House Foundation. You know that this is the house in which Aleister Crowley performed his Holy Guardian Angel ritual, and some of you who are members already know that I released a video for members last week about the Holy Guardian Angel, and that's going to be made available on Saturday to the general public. So I've got the Holy Guardian Angel on the mind right now. But it seems like they have been working very hard for a good few years. I remember talking about this at the beginning of when I was doing this this kind of news section, when it was still just for members. It seems like they've completed the work on the roof, and that's been a very, very major part of rebuilding the Boleskine house, which has just had so many fires now, right? That's really excellent news. And then if we scroll all the way up to the top, actually maybe not quite all the way up to the top quite yet, this is interesting information as well. The Boleskine Talks, John Dee, an early modern melding of science and religion. That's happening on the 22nd of July, so it's not happened quite yet. It's happening at 7:30 p.m. Join us for an enlightening lecture on Dr. John Dee, whose work at the crossroads of science and mysticism profoundly influenced the intellectual landscape of his time. It's definitely worth checking the details out for there. There's the details for the Zoom meeting on the Boleskine House Foundation, which I will link down for you down in there in the description. And then if I just scroll all the way up here, there's this announcement that they made a couple of days ago saying, breaking news, big announcement coming 24th of July. Get ready, set your alarms, check back here at 10 a.m. on 24th of July for some big news, capital letters. The announcement affects the rebuild and the future of Boleskine House. For those who really cannot wait, check the newspapers that morning. You may see the news before we reveal it. Otherwise, check back here for the news. Something big enough to make the newspapers, huh? So that's potentially exciting news. Who knows? We'll see. And then finally, my board game of the week. By the way, I hesitated between this one and the Labyrinth board game that's on GameFound at the moment. I looked at the Labyrinth board game, and it's got pretty miniatures and stuff, but the game itself doesn't look very good. I'm sorry, it doesn't look very good. But I thought I'd mention it for you guys just in case you were curious and would buy a Labyrinth-themed board game, regardless of whether it was a good game or not. This one actually does look like a really good game. It's called Luthier, and it's a game about making high-quality violins. There we go. The art by Vincent Dutrait is always, he's just one of the greatest illustrators in board games right now. So yes, you know that the artwork is going to be gorgeous, and it's about making beautiful violins for an exclusive clientele of musicians. Is there a difference? Possibly. So yeah, what is the difference? Right. So yeah, go and check that out if you're interested in the art of making violins and high quality instruments, and you'd like to see that implemented as a modern board game, right? A board game with some interesting rules that actually keep you thinking, keep you involved, and makes the game actually exciting rather than throw the die and move forward 3 squares, right? There we are. That's my news for today. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps each video to reach a new audience, and to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Leave a comment about anything that's exciting for you, that maybe I've missed, anything that you've seen recently that you've spotted and that's kind of kept you excited. Every comment also makes the videos more likely to be suggested by YouTube to a new public. So it helps these videos to get seen by people who could potentially be happy to see a video of the news of the occult publishing scene. And if you'd like to have a one-to-one conversation with me, then the links to do that are down below as well. I can read your cards. I do tarot readings, but I also do just conversations. If you want to talk about your spiritual path or your occult practice or whatever it might be, your understanding of magic or whatever it might be, and you'd like just a sounding board, someone to talk to who actually understands this stuff, or if you'd like to get some recommendations on where to go next and stuff like that, then yes, the link to do that is down below. That's going to be it from me for today. If you'd like to support the channel, of course, there's a Patreon, and I really, really appreciate every single member who supports the channel at any level. So thank you very, very much for that. And if you're not yet a Patreon supporter, then and you'd like to support the channel, then that is a really, really helpful way to do it. And memberships start at just $2 a month. There we go. That's what I've got for you for today. Thank you once again for watching. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.